It's the fourth round of the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCAT World Series, and we're here in Stresa on the Italian Lake Maggiore, to be precise, ahead of that round. And we've got the pole position session coming up later on. And whilst normally the lake is very smooth, it's a bit blustery here today. You can tell from the movement we're getting on the jetty and also from my fringe that it's not exactly the most calm of conditions here. And that could play into different boats' hands, because normally a flat lake means you're full throttle all the way, very different to racing offshore as we've been doing in Dubai, Fujairah and Naples last time out. Fazza are currently leading the championship in the number 3 boat. They have won all 3 races so far, but they were pushed so close in Naples that it really was only 1.54 seconds between first and second places as they crossed the line. Maybe we're going to be in for just as an exciting race here. But first up, we've got the pole position session, and before it gets underway, earlier on I caught up with some of the pilots ahead of the session. So Arif, 3 wins out of 3 for Fazza this season, but the end of the Naples race wasn't easy, was it?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not easy because the first test my boat in Napoli, and I am lucky to find rough water because really I have experience in rough, same Dubai, exactly the water there. But I'll be honest with you, I surprised here when I test my boat second time here in Stresa. I found my boat still is not ready 100% because I need increase more speed. Anyway, we'll change our setup for today. I think today IM will be happy about my boat.
So we're down in the pits with the Moab boat, and Joachim Kumlin is a relative newcomer to the team. How did you find it in Naples?
In Naples, I found it out really good with the Moab team. Was great. I know the guys since a long time, so but I didn't know to drive with the Moab team. Was really great.
And Gary, were you pleased with how the weekend went?
Apparently, because he's back in the boat this race. But yeah, no, we did a good job together. He's an excellent racer, and I think we gelled right away. Moad and Omar Daniel thank Joaquin for being here with us to fill in for him, and we're looking forward to this race here.
Erik Nilsson is returning to XCAT this weekend with the Lady Spain boat that we can see behind us, and well, it's good to have you back, Paul.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to be back again, and I look forward to the weekend. Yeah.
And you made your XCAT debut here last year, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true, in the Dubai duty-free boat. Now it's a new team and a new throttle man. Usually I'm a throttle man, you know, so I changed the seat, but shouldn't be any problem, and look forward to it.
And what are your targets coming into this weekend? Do you think you can get sort of towards the podium?
Hopefully, the boat is really good, but we need to work on the cooperation in the cockpit because Marco is not so good in English. Actually, no word at all. So we have to find a language in the boat that we can drive after and go from there.
So Alessandro, Naples went really well for you guys.
Very, very well. I am very happy for the results, of course. It was the first race again with Serafino, so I'm really enjoyed about the race, about Serafino, of course, that is very famous on these sports. I'm very happy also for the boat that is great. And what I can tell, now we will see what's happened here in Stresa. Yesterday, as you know, we was on the first place. But of course, it's just a practice, so we need to know, we need, of course, to develop more the boat. But our team, I'm very happy about the team. The team is very, very, very good guys, very, very smart guys, very professional. I am very enjoyed about the team, yes.
So I'm here with Luca Fendi from the T-Bone Station boat number 10. And Luca, since your return to XCAT, there's been some good pace in the boat.
Yeah, actually we're doing pretty good. A couple of new engines we did shakedown on Thursday, and yesterday we did pretty good. And we hopefully, like today in the pole position, we're trying to do our best to be in the first 3 positions on the way to tomorrow on the start lap to be in the first buoy.
Good afternoon, it's time for the pole session here ahead of the 4th round of the UIM Skydive Dubai XCAT World Series. The boats are out on the course. They have been for a couple of minutes. No one's come through yet to do a representative lap time, but you can see them out there on the course, and well, it's a spectacular scenery, as it always is in Stresa. My name's Jack Nichols. Alongside me here in the commentary box is the promoter of the XCAT World Series, Sid Ben Salah. And Sid, we came here to Stresa for the first time with XCATs last year. It was the first foray out of the Middle East for XCATs, and it was stunning then. And driving back in yesterday, it was just as good as I remembered it. It's beautiful here.
We are back here to Stresa, where for the first time ever we run the first XCAT World Series outside the UAE and Middle East, here in this beautiful town, the town of Stresa in Lake Maggiore. And we are very pleased and happy to come back again. The entire community was looking forward to see the action on the water, to see the pilots, the teams, the WPPA, I mean everyone, and we feel welcome, and we feel like this is our second home.
Absolutely, and well, there's a boat out there that has a lot of heritage in this region, the 6th boat of Niccolini Offshore, 2 Italian pilots, Tommaso Poli and Matteo Niccolini at the wheel there, and they had a difficult run in Naples last time out. They were running strongly but spun out towards the end of the lap as they turn really sharply through the final corner and then across the line to complete what I think is their outlap. Their timed lap will start now, as no, they did come across there to do a 2-minute 40.03, so that's a good lap from them. The quickest lap we've seen so far this weekend is a 2-minute 36.84, so a 2-minute 40 not bad at all. But you can see they are pushing very hard, the 6th boat, and it was a real shame for them that they spun out in Naples, but they are at the moment are at the top of the timings with that 2-minute 40.2. Consul Brokers looking quite quick as well, and well, they're one in boat 22. They took pole position in Naples, Alfredo Amato and Marco Pinessi, and well, another pair of Italians, a lot of Italians now in the XCAT field.
Plenty of them. I mean, we need to go back 20-25 years ago, where the sport of powerboating was dominated by the Italians, from boat builders, engine manufacturers, designers, pilots, you name it. And within the years, the sport struggled a little bit because of various reasons, but since we launched the XCAT World Series 4 years ago and last year internationally, there is an interest from the Italians again. Alfredo Amato and Tommaso Poli,
Marco Pinessi,
and Marco Pinessi, because there is so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were really thrilled with the performance they had during the round 3 in Napoli, in their hometown, and they made it as well on the podium, so they were really happy. I must say that talking to them, they were not really expecting that performance, and they were quite unfortunate during the start in the Napoli Grand Prix that they missed one of the mark of the first turn, and they've been penalized straightforward. But here we go. They are improving race after race and closing the gap with the top teams like Faza, Muad and Matteo Niccolini.
And they are the quickest boat out there so far, a 2-minute 34.95 for Consul Brokers in boat number 22, as we now look at the 28 boat of the Fagera racing team. Roberto Lopiano and Andrea Comello are the pilots there, and I don't think they haven't set a lap time yet. This is their first lap out there, but we're seeing the pictures now from Virtual Eye showing just how busy it is out there on the course. And in this pole session, it's very long, it's an hour and a half, but it must be important to get a clear run in front of you so you don't get the wake from other boats.
Well, the pole at the beginning, they will not the strategy from the different teams not to push from the first lap, just to make sure to get comfortable with the water condition. So like we see now, number 6, they went for 2 laps and then they are back now at the dock to for sure change the props and then go back again, because 1 hour and a half they have plenty of time to basically do the right setup, tuning, for the best lap.
Now the course goes the other way as well to last year. It's slightly different, isn't it? Is there a particular reason behind that?
Indeed, there is mainly to do with the safety, because the teams, they are used to race a clockwise course. When you put them in a situation where they have to race anti-clockwise, and the way the pilots and the throttlemans are sitting on the boat, it's such I mean, they've been training and improving the coordination, the communication in the boats all the time, and all this 90% was done clockwise. So when you change that, they are not comfortable really into driving in the different corners, and the request from the pilots, they said that if we can as much as possible to have clockwise courses, then it's good for everyone.
Okay, so we're seeing that is the sort of finish line area that we're seeing now, and then the big cranes you can see in the background are the ones that will hoist the boats in and out of the water. And then we come towards this first right-hand kink, and then this further on, and this is Lady Spain in boat 46, and it's a return for Paul Nielsen, and he is alongside Marco Fabrizi, and those two have had a little trouble communicating. If you're watching our little piece at the top of the show, Paul saying that Marco's English is pretty much non-existent, and communication between the driver and the pilot is really important, obviously.
It is very important for Paul. He's happy to come back again in this season. He missed 2 races. He used to race together with Tom Baricota from Australia on Dubai duty-free boat. But they're having great plans for next season, and the main thing for Paul Veric, it's to keep himself busy within the series. But going back to the communication issue, I had a chat with Paul earlier today, and he was telling me how challenging it is to communicate with his mate on the boat, which he's a Spanish. But then I think they solved the issue by to agree on on some signs and some shaking heads and things like that too. Yeah. The other thing is Paul usually he's a throttle man, so he doesn't steer a lot. But in his past experience in the circuit racing in the Formula 2, so he's quite happy to take that role here in Stresa.
Now we're seeing Marine Investimenti Sud, who had an excellent performance in Naples. Well, they nearly won the race, didn't they? They were so close.
They hit the mark.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so won't be the quickest lap, and you can see them slowing down a little. But yeah, they nearly won the race in Naples, didn't they? Because Faza had steering problems, and they finished only a second or so behind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they had maybe one more lap, they will for sure finish in the top position. And in their warm-up lap, I think they hit the F1 mark.
Okay. So we can
see the mark is destroyed.
So we can see the view from above as the 22 boat of Consul Brokers, which is currently still the fastest boat out there, 2:34.95. They're getting lifted out of the water, and they're going to have a few adjustments made to the props by the looks of things. Faza, the championship leaders, are out there on the circuit, and they're just heading up towards the furthest point away on the course at the moment, as we look at the 96 boat of Yachts with Francois Pinelli and Salvo Baccio, a Frenchman and an Italian. And they made their XCAT debut with this boat anyway at the start of this season, and they currently are 4th quickest at 2:38.28, which isn't a bad lap time actually, considering we were only seeing 2:36s as the fastest times in the free practice session yesterday. As they come through now, and again another good pairing, another Italian on board, but also the Frenchman Francois Pinelli, who's Well, I don't know how to describe Francois. He's always full of life, isn't he? He's always looking for some fun and for a laugh. And there you can see the yacht's boats now on virtual eye. And they're about a minute into their lap so far. So we come past the two islands down at nearest to the coast, Bella and then Superiore, and then they will turn right and head up to where that Faza boat is at the moment, towards Isola Madre, and then they'll come back down, and you can see there are the current standings. So Faza, it looks like, may have found some speed in there, but we'll wait for confirmation from the actual timing graphics as well. Plenty of statues around this beautiful part of the country. It was really popular in the sort of early 1900s, this Stresa area, and there are Faza, so they've obviously come across the line and set the lap time that they're pleased with. And actually, I think we've got the red flag out, so that's why the session has come to a stop. The red flag has been deployed here about 15 minutes or so into this pole position session.
For sure, it has to do with the destroyed mark by Marine Investment Sud 20, and I think the organizers, we can see the boat, the rubber dinghy there, moving a mark to replace the destroyed one, and it's definitely the F1.
Okay, so just a little pause whilst the boys are put back in position, and there you can see the boats are making their way back into the wet pits for now, and this will give them a little opportunity to change things. There's a boat we haven't talked about much, Dubai, with Jay Price, and he's joined this weekend by Salim Ali Al-Didi, which is good to see, because Salim's a very quick pilot, and he's really come on leaps and bounds in recent years, and he and Jay Price together should be quite a good pairing, I think.
Absolutely. This is the first time that Jay Price is racing together with Salim. Salim is a very talented pilot. He started XCAT last year in 2013, and since day one, since his first ever XCAT race, he proved that he has the skill, he has the stamina, and he pushes to the limit. Jay Price, of course, there is no discussion about his experience and his achievements in the sport. Let's see what these two gentlemen will produce.
At the moment, I don't think they've set a representative lap time. I think they were just heading out onto the course when the red flag was deployed. There we can see the Qatar team as well, Mohammed Al Nasser and Abdul Rahman Al Nasser. They are currently in the championship standings, not having a great time, down in 12th position for Qatar team, which is a little bit of a surprise. We usually expect to see them a little further up in the championship standings, as I think that was Salwa Batcher there. And here's the replay of Marine Investimenti Sud hitting that marker. There we go. Totally obliterated it.
Absolutely spectacular.
And so that is what's being replaced presently. The Consul Broker's boat is back in the water. That is Rahib we're seeing. The Kuwaitis having changed something on their boat, presumably, and then they'll head back out. But just a brief pause here whilst that buoy is recovered, and then the pole session will continue. And well, the clock is still ticking. There's T-Bone Station, boat number 10. Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitella. Luca telling me before this pole session that really they want to be in the top three. They had a good race in Naples, qualified 4th, and well, actually going down to the first corner, they were in the lead of the race, but Faza managed to get past them, but they didn't quite hold on to Faza up at the front, and slipped back a little bit. Still had a good finish nevertheless for T-Bone Station, but it's great to have Luca Fendi back in the series after doing it last season briefly, but now he in that T-Bone Station machine looks to be pretty strong. So red flag still being shown, and indeed the buoy is still being replaced, but there's still a few boats just out there on the course. getting ready for when the green flag does come out and they can start pushing once more. And then after this pole session, we've also got the Dubai duty-free XCAT run later on this afternoon.
The boat that will definitely has a huge advantage here is 10, Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitella, the T-Bone station, because that boat is really suitable for this type of conditions and water. A very narrow tunnel, and when it's flat water here, and because in the lakes the boats behave completely different from the open sea, like we've seen the last race in Napoli. Luca and Giovanni, they've been working really hard to have the best setup and be ready for this race. So if everything goes smoothly for them, I think they might end up on the podium.
Talking to Arif Al-Zafin earlier, he's not particularly happy with the progress they made with the number 3 boat yesterday. But I guess Arif's never totally satisfied with how the boat's performing, and that's part of the reason that Fazza are so strong, is that they're constantly striving to do better. But he seemed a little not quite as confident as he usually is, and let's not forget here, last year Fazza didn't take the victory. They were beaten on pure pace by the 7 boat of Dubai with Jay Price at the wheel, so it's by no means going to be an easy victory for Fazza. They're going to have their work cut out, and after spending so long in the UAE on open water, it's as you say, Sid, it's very different when you come here to a relatively still lake, and well, most of the pilots are saying it's pretty much flat out on the throttle all the way until you get to a corner.
You know, here the boats are, they have a tendency to sink more, so to stick more to the water, because there is no salt. And for this reason, the senses on the steering with the pilot is quite important, and choosing the right prop as well is quite important. Usually here they choose a prop with a big diameter, so they're a little bit large to give more push to the boat. So this is I'm just simplifying as much as possible the way the teams and the pilots they choose the propellers, like in Formula 1 car racing when you choose a tire based on the tarmac condition. And between yesterday's official trial, where we've seen for example 20 doing the best time with 2 minutes 36 seconds and 84, and Fazza, I don't think they pushed quite hard, because they have a brand new boat. They had some challenges in Napoli to get that boat into speed. They almost lost the first position because they had a major steering issue, and you know, to get a new boat into basically solving all the technical issues, you need a minimum of 4 races. I do believe that in this race, if everything goes smoothly, we will see a close combat between definitely Fazza, 22 console broker, 6 Qatar team, and as well T-Bone station. So we're gonna see today the time trial on the pole position, which will give us a clear indication about tomorrow's race.
So we're still in a red flag period here in Stresa. We're seeing some nice replays on screen whilst a boy is replaced at the final corner, and it looks like the job might pretty much be done now. The boats are moving away from it as we see the 46 Lady Spain boat out there, and it's really spectacular to see the XCATs here on the lake. A lot less movement than when we see them on the open water, but it's still spectacular with the scenery, and such a different scenery as well. The backdrop we're used to in Dubai is totally different to the backdrop we're seeing here. And there is the 46, and these are replays from earlier on, but I think we will be getting the green flag pretty soon, because the boats, the safety boats, are moving back into position. The XCAT is out there as well, moving back to its place on the finish line. So before too long, we'll be back underway. And at the moment, it's Console Brokers who are the quickest at 2 minute 34.95. Fazza second quickest, 2:36.92. Then we've got Marine Investimenti Sud third. There's the whistle we just heard. The green flag has been raised. And this pole session is now back underway. No one immediately getting out there onto the course, but, well, we have got some of the boats already out there, haven't they? They've sort of stayed and milled around until the green flag was raised again. So who have we got out there? We've got Fazza out there. We've also got Qatar team, I think, out there. Dubai are out there. Yachts and T-Bone Station all milling around up at the top end of the course. But there you can see the props being changed on the Fajera Racing team. Roberto Lopiano and Andrea Comello changing them themselves by the looks of it, as they try and find the perfect setup. But meanwhile, the three-boat of Fazza, the championship leaders, Arif Al-Zafin and Nadir Bin Hendi, come across the line then. And they are now going to start a lap. And, well, that's the bonus, I suppose, of milling around out there, is that as soon as the green flag goes, you can get across the line as quickly as possible. And it's when they're out on open water, Sid, they're sort of going through the water, but here on the flat surface, they're just sort of skimming across it, isn't it? Like when you skim stones, it's spectacular.
Absolutely. You know, in Napoli, where it was the first time we ran an XCAT event on the Mediterranean Sea, the way the boats they behave on this open water, it's absolutely amazing. There is this kind of, it's really beautiful, really nice to watch, and it's like they are just, let's say, kissing the water and flying and you know. But here it's completely different. It's like they are, like you said, they are like skidding on the water, and it's different. But it's here you have, I guess, much control at the turns, and the only big issue is during the start shoot. If you go over 100 miles an hour, everything can happen. So yeah.
There is the Fazza boat. They're just coming up to the furthest point on the course, turning hard right there around the buoy, and that is in front of the Isola Madre up there, and then back down towards us on the shore. And you can see them pushing very, very hard straight out of the blocks. Console Brokers are heading back onto the course now. We've got quite a few boats out there, actually. I think we've got 7 or 8 on the course at the moment. Moad are back in the wet pits. We'll talk more about that boat later on as well. But here come Fazza then. We look at the virtual eye, and they're doing 150 kilometers an hour as they come round the corner. And then that speed no doubt will increase as they come down towards the final sharp right-hander. You can see they'll loop around here just before they get to the Skydive Dubai logo on this virtual eye setup. And well, actually they might go past it, mightn't they? But Fazza flash through and then turn hard right. It's amazing the amount of how quickly these boats can turn. What sort of lap time is this going to be for Fazza? It looks like it's going to be quite a strong one, yeah. And it is very strong, a 2 minute 32.45. So Fazza go quickest of anyone with a very impressive run, and that puts them back where we often tend to see them, at the top of the standings, and they immediately come to a halt and will come back into the wet pits. But that's a strong lap from Arif Al-Zafin and Nadir Bin Hendi. No one else at the moment is improving. Across the line come Qatar team. They move up into 6th place, so that's not bad for the Qatar team of Mohamed Al Nasser and Abdul Rahman Al Nasser. There you can see them on the virtual eye. And that is a boat that tends to do very well in speed cat runs, which we've got coming up later on. Looking out the window, the 7 boat of Dubai going very, very wide through the final corner, and they struggled, didn't they, Dubai, in Naples? I presume because of the accident they had in pole position. They couldn't get the boat, you know, really properly ready again for the race.
Yeah, they flipped, and then they had quite a significant damage on both engines, and the back section of the boat, and the team, the shore crew team, they've been working the whole night to get the boat ready. They did indeed. The boat took part to Sunday's race, but they didn't perform very well because they were dealing with all sort of electrical issues.
So there we are seeing one of the boats coming towards us. Can't quite make it out. It's so sunny here in Stresa. The 10 boat of T-Bone Station has just come past. Nicolini have just come past as well, and Nicolini actually went really, really wide coming out of the final corner to try and get as much speed across the start line as possible. They compromised that lap time in order to try and be as quick across the line as humanly possible, and they're hitting 165 kilometers an hour as they come down towards the first right-hander. So we'll wait and see whether that tactic worked out for Nicolini. We're still seeing Qatar team on the virtual eye as we zoom out to see them getting up to 150 kilometers an hour. It's outrageously fast, these boats go, and it's incredibly spectacular. Now they're coming through the left-hand kink that brings them towards the final corner, and the long lap will see the boats turn left here and head up north a little bit as we look at it. But there's our standings at the moment. Dubai have gone up into second quickest then, a 2-minute 34.84 for Dubai. They're up into second quickest. T-Bone Station third. Marine Investimenti Sud down to fourth position, but it's getting pretty close out there. There's no doubt about that. And Fazer have come back into the wet pits. And are we going to see a big battle? And Consul Brokers have just done the same tactic as well, and they're going to get spray all over the Qatar team boat. So did that? I don't think that was an improvement for Qatar team, and now they've been greeted by Consul Brokers in front of them across the line. So again, that was Consul Brokers going very wide into the last corner to try and straighten the boat up as early as possible to get on the power and be quick across the line. Here they are then, Alfredo Amato and Marco Panesi. They've steadily improved throughout the last couple of rounds, going back to, well, I think it was China last year was their sort of, actually no, they were very strong in Arona, weren't they? Arona last year, suddenly they got everything together, and then their pace has grown since then, and now they're in this position where they're genuine front runners.
Absolutely. You can see all the boats improving race after race, and I mean between what the teams are doing and between the rules that we have is try to create a parity between them. But what will pay straightforward on the water is basically the way you perform is how much you train, how much you spend time training, and that pays quite straightforward. I think number 6 is having some issues.
Yeah, they came very tight out of the last corner and then slowed down immediately. So we'll keep an eye out on that. On the screens we're seeing virtual eye showing us Consul Brokers now at the far end of the course, and there they are now in real life as well. 155 kilometers an hour as they come towards this left-hander, but they're starting to get caught up behind the wake of the boat in front, which is Lady Spain. So they may well struggle to get a great lap here. Well, they're still a reasonable way behind Lady Spain, so there's still the possibility they can get a good lap time in as they come towards the final corner now. They're currently third quickest at 2-minute 34.95. So they need to find a couple of seconds if they want to move up. Through the final corner they come, trying to get the boat turned in as quickly as possible. And again, they run into the wake of Lady Spain. It's going to be a decent lap this for Consul Brokers. Across they come. Is it going to be an improvement for them? No. It doesn't look like it. No, they remain in third position. They just nudge. They just nudge the buoy there, whilst they're sort of slowing down. And they just gave it a little nudge, but I don't think that'll cause too much drama. And there's the Fazer boat about to get hoisted out of the water and have some changes made to it. And then you can see Consul Brokers slowing down to just 75 kilometers an hour. So what are they going to peel off and come back into the pits, or are they just trying to find themselves some space, some clear water? Looks like the latter at the moment, because they're staying out there on the course. Still Dubai second, Consul Brokers third, T-Bone Station fourth, and Marine Investimenti Sud in fifth position at the moment. As there's a little bit of lull in the action on the course. This looks to be Lady Spain coming towards us again. Paul-Erik Nilsson and Marco Fabrizi coming in front of the spectators that have gathered here. A huge following for the powerboats when we came here last year, and surely there's going to be more of them this year, because it was such a good event when we came here in 2013. You can see new props for Faza, or a change of props at least, and they get lowered back into the water. This meanwhile is Rahib, and they are currently 7th quickest at the moment, which isn't too bad a result for them. In the championship overall, they're down in 13th position, so I think if they could keep this sort of pace up for the rest of the pole session, they'd be pretty happy. But it's all about engine power on this on these flat Italian lakes, isn't it?
Yeah, engine power, torque, and the best speed, and that speed is basically all depending on the props that you choose.
So we haven't seen much of Moad in this session so far. The number 50 boat, they're down in 11th place at the moment, and they're still parked up in the wet pits. Can't see Gary Ballou or Joachim Kumlin around, so maybe they are inside the boat waiting to head out. Keep an eye out on that one, because they haven't put in a competitive time yet, as we continue to look at Rahib down in 8th place now, because Lady Spain have moved up into 7th place on that last lap. Or no, Lady Spain have moved into 8th place, I think, then, because the 6th boat of Nicolini is there in 7th place. As we see Rahib still out there on the course. Consul Brokers are coming over the line now. They're about to start another lap, and they don't look like they've quite got the pace up there. As we zoom in on the virtual eye to Rahib once again, coming through the left hand, the 5th corner, and when we get to the long laps in the race, this is where the boats will turn left and head out onto their long lap. But Rahib are carrying straight on here, and will throw it into the final corner and try and move up some positions, because they're currently well down. Faza are being towed back out and heading onto the water soon. Across the line come Rahib. And they continue on their way, but now we're seeing Consul Brokers out there, and they are in 3rd place at the moment, as you can see from the standings. So Moad at the moment are 7th quickest, my apologies, and Qatar team 8th, Rahib down in 12th position. Spirit of Dubai completing our 13 runners at the moment. And Consul Brokers again out there pushing hard, as they have been for all of this session. Where are they on the course at the moment? They're up at the top end, just looping around that right-hander, and they're getting so close to the buoy, aren't they? And that's obviously that's part of the skill, is to get as close to those buoys as possible without doing what Lady Spain did earlier. Was it Lady Spain or Jos? I can't remember, but without destroying them completely.
That was Serafino, Marine Investimenti Sud.
Yes. So Consul Brokers.
And that will cost him a couple of hundreds of dollars penalty.
Yeah.
So there are console brokers now coming towards the final corner. And they will loop around to try and get in a good lap time.
So we've done already half an hour
Yep.
from the pole position session. Still left 49 minutes. We need to, for sure, the last 20 minutes will be the most important ones. Less fuel and better setup and things like that, and we will see quite a good action the last 20 minutes.
So it must be very important to manage your fuel levels in these pole position runs. If you go out and do 10 laps, then you won't have any fuel at the end of the session because you can't refuel it during the session.
No, you can't. But usually the teams, they know quite well how much fuel they have to carry. And then in this game of pole position, it's like Formula 1 car racing. So they're all on standby. So they go for a couple of laps to find the right tuning, the right setup, the right prop, getting familiar with the corners, with the turns, and then it's almost like trying to memorize all this into their their heads,
Yeah.
and wait for the right time to go out there to do 2-3 laps and then try to run the best lap.
There's the Fagera Racing team, Roberto Lopiano and Andrea Comello out there on the course. And they have been performing a little more strongly in these last couple of races. Great to have them here for the Italian rounds. Another pair of Italian drivers run by the Savizza Fondiari team.
So the past 5 minutes we've seen now a change into the pole position order. In the second position, Console Broker, about 22 with 2 minutes 33 seconds and 85. Dubai lost his second position, and then T-Bone Station on the fourth position with 2 minutes 35 and 95.
Dubai have just done a very, very wide run through the final corner and across the line, so they're going for it now on this lap, the number 7 boat. There's Fagera Racing team, as we saw, so that's a good lap from Yachts, isn't it, to move themselves up into 5th place, past Marine Investimenti Sud, past 6, ahead of Moad as well, so that's promising stuff for Francois Pinelli and Salvo Baccio.
It's a good performance knowing that this boat is more suitable for offshore racing.
Yeah.
It's a wider boat, a longer boat, a dog ride, and it's more suitable for when it's wavy. And having this time, it's really good for them. But as you said earlier, Jack, Francois, he's a funny guy. He's always he always have a big smile on his face. It doesn't matter what, and it's so nice and lovely to see them with the French flag part of our series. And I think he's happy and pleased because of what the French team did yesterday during the FIFA World Cup.
Okay, I wondered how long it would be before you brought up the FIFA World Cup. So very good. Oh, and that's a shame to see. Well, unless they're just milling actually in the middle of the course. Yeah. Okay. A bit of panic over there for the 6th boat. They can mill just sort of inside that 5th corner and just wait for the right time to get back out onto the course. So there are no dramas there for the 6th boat. Whereas the 7 boat of Dubai, they're still coming up at the far end of the course, and they're actually quite close behind the 20 boat of Marine Investimenti Sud, so they might not have the sort of clear water that they would have wanted, but we'll keep an eye out on them because they're currently 3rd quickest with a 2 minute 34.84, so they need to find a couple of seconds. But I remember here last year a superb battle between Dubai and Fazza where they both would go out, go quicker, come back in, so the other guys would have to go out, go quicker, come back in, and it went on for about the last 25 minutes of the session. There's Rahid pulling in the 17 boat, and they're going to make some adjustments. Currently down in 12th place, we see there on the timing screens ahead of Spirit of Dubai, and walking past them there are the 2 Yacht Emirates pilots, Francois Pinelli and Salvo Baccio, just making their way off the jetty for the time being. So Dubai are going to be coming through the final corner now. Do we have any improvement from them? No, they stay third on a 2:34.84. And well, there you can see the problem that they're facing, though. They're right up behind the 20 boat of Marine Investimenti Sud, and well, I think looks like the 7 boat is slowing down because they know that they're not going to get a good lap time in whilst they're having to deal with the wake of Serafino Barlesi and Alessandro Baroni. Speaking to Alessandro earlier on, he's very happy with how things went in Naples, understandably, because they finished in second place and had a very good run. There you can see from virtual eye the boats that are out there at the moment, and Dubai have backed off, but now presumably will start to pick up the pace again once they get enough clear air from Marine Investimenti Sud in the 20 boat there in the bottom left hand of the screen. Consul Brokers are going to be one to watch for too in the 22 boat, currently second quickest, and well, they're only about 1.3 seconds behind Fazza, so it's not too much time to find in theory. As we see Marine Investimenti Sud throwing it into the right hand turn. Serafino Barlesi and Alessandro Baroni piloting that machine. They're up at the far end of the course, up by Ilsa Madre. And then they head back down. Where's the 22 boat of Consul Brokers? Doesn't look... I've lost them for the time being. Here they come then. They're just about to come through. In fact, they might have just come through the buoy, and they do improve. They do a 2:32.71, so there's now only 0.3 of a second between Fazza and Consul Brokers up at the top of the timings, and this is getting very close. Fazza not on the water at the moment, they're in the wet pits, but a great lap from Consul Brokers, and it's getting very, very close up there now.
That shows after Napoli race that Consul Broker is really improving. And this time 2:32.71. It's a really, really good performance from Alfredo Amato and Penesi. Dubai boat, I think maybe they're struggling with some issues, but as I said earlier, the last 20 minutes will be the most important one. I've seen T-Bone Station, Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitella. They are now rounding the E-turn with 120 kilometers an hour.
Yep, and that speed continues to increase as they head towards the final corner. Dubai going very, very wide again to get a good run out, but let's keep an eye out the window for T-Bone Station, because this is looking like a reasonably good lap. A 2:35.95 is their best lap so far. They're coming towards the finish line now, and I think this could better their time. How far up will it move them? Across the line they come. No improvement in the end. So it was looking like a good lap for T-Bone Station. It was actually, they did a 2:35.95, and their quickest lap is a 2:35.59. So they were only a couple of tenths slower, but they didn't manage to make any improvement out there. There you can see them in the number 10 boat, Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitella. Here then is Salem Al-Adidi and Jay Price in the number 7 Dubai machine as they start their lap, and in 2.5 minutes time we'll know if they've been able to find any more pace in that machine. Jay Price won here in that boat last year. His confidence will be, well, I don't think Jay Price's confidence is ever low, but his confidence will be very high coming into this weekend. But after that dramatic weekend in Naples, they're currently second in the championship, but they've only got 620 points. compared to the 1,200 points that Fazer have picked up. It really has been an impressive season from Fazer, and other boats running into difficulties, whilst Fazer, well, it showed, didn't it? When Fazer run into technical difficulties, like in Naples, they still win the race. When Dubai have problems, they're upside down. It's like that a little bit, as we see Dubai coming through the left-hander now at the E-turn. And soon we will see them come across the line. They're getting up towards 150 kilometers an hour before they try and get the boat turned in towards this final right-hander. Well, actually approaching 170 probably. Niccolini come across the line in the 6th boat to start another flying lap. We've had 40 minutes now of this pole session. Yep. As we see Dubai about to come across the line now. Is this going to be an improvement for them? 2 minute 34.84. Yes, it is. And they go to a 2 minute 32.86. They stay in 3rd place. But that means we've got 0.4 of a second between the top 3 boats, Sid.
Yes, impressive, really impressive. I think Fazer will go again. Yeah, I think they are already there on the wet pit area, watching for the other boats and waiting for the right moment to go down and to run the fastest lap. 22, he's slowing down, coming now towards the finishing area. I think they're having maybe a technical issue. Yeah. And the impressive performance between Fazer, Console Broker and Dubai. Let's see what 6 Tommaso Poli and Matteo Niccolini will do now.
And T-Bone Station as well are ones to keep an eye out for. They're on the course, and they very much have the potential to get into the fight. There you can see Gary Ballou playing with the props, him and Joachim Kumlin, and seeing those two earlier, it was very much Joachim Kumlin seemed to be learning everything from Gary. Gary was really teaching him about the boat, and you could see Joachim go, oh, okay, that's interesting, that's interesting. And it's a great little pairing they've got there.
Indeed, and I think Joachim is really happy to race together with Gary, and Gary, he's a mentor, and he's I would not say the old school, but but he's very experienced, very talented, very active in USA. And Joachim, he's let's say young, and he did won a couple of races in XCAT together with Daniel Svensson on the Westerlund team. But I presume that Joachim, he's having a lot of fun and with Gary.
So T-Bone Station come across the line. We're seeing a Qatar team out there, but T-Bone Station have just started then their flying lap. So are they going to be able to start to challenge the top 3? There you can see Dubai up at the top by Isola Madre, just slowing down as Qatar team that we're looking at now, the 94 boat, come past them. 6th place at the moment for Qatar team. Rahiba heading back out there, and we're just talking about Moad actually, because that's a Doug Wright boat as well. But I said to Gary, you know, what changes have you made since the start of the season? He said, too many. We keep, you know, chopping bits off the end and moving. They've moved the whole sort of cockpit forward in the boat, and they're really working hard to get that boat more competitive, because it has different characteristics to the Victory boat, and I think they're sort of trying to move it towards that, aren't they?
Indeed. They did a lot of modifications since the last race in 2013 in Dubai. From December to January, they've done quite a lot of modifications. They were not quite pleased with the boat performance comparing to last year, and they are in constant, basically, development and trying to find the right setup, the right just by spreading the weight in this boat is not an easy task for the sake of having the best balance. And the minute you find that, then it pays off quite straightforward on the water. But they are struggling since the beginning of the season. From the engine point of view, they are not having that much issues, but it's mainly to find the right setup with all the modifications they did so far.
If anyone can find the right setup, I think it'll be Gary, a very experienced racer. Now, where is the T-Bone Station boat? Back in has come Consul Brokers, boat number 22, the boat that is currently second quickest with Alfredo Amato and Marco Panessi. But somewhere out there on the course, just coming towards the final corner now, is the 10 boat of T-Bone Station. They're currently fourth quickest, a 2-minute 35.59. They do need to find some 3 seconds if they want to move up the order. And they're coming through the final right-hander and towards the finish line. Is it going to be good enough to get them up into those positions? Let's have a look. Across the line they come, and it's a 2-minute 35.09. So again, they improve, but only by half a second, not enough to bring them right up into contention with the top 3 at the moment, which are still Fazza, Consul Brokers and Dubai. Marine Investimenti Sud, boat number 20, currently down in 7th place. Qatar team then are up into 6th spot, which is good news. Who's out there on the course? We've got T-Bone Station still out there. There is, I think, Tommaso Poli. Difficult to tell from the back of him, but or is that Tommaso already in? Anyway, it's either Tommaso Poli or Matteo Nicolini. The one that isn't in is getting in, and then the 6th boat will be heading back out. Down in 8th place at the moment, which is a shame for them. They took their first XCAT win last year, not here, but a couple of miles down the road in Arona. And what a fantastic day that was, seeing the Italians win on Italian water. Really special afternoon that was in Arona. And well, after this we're heading off to Cascais in Portugal in the first weekend in August, which will be another new venue for the XCAT World Series before returning to China with 2 rounds in China. One is the return to Ningbo, and then the final round of the season will take place in Dubai in December. So out of the wet pits now are going Moad and Fazza, as Qatar team come back into the pits. Or no, Qatar team are heading out as well. So it's all getting a bit busy down there on the exit of the pit. But not that many boats out there on the course at the moment. In fact, it's only Rahib who are out there going quickly, because T-Bone Station are out there just cruising around, not using up too much fuel, and making their way either to mill for a bit or back round to the pit. Another engine firing up out there. Can't quite make out who that is. It might be yachts, actually. They might be about to head back out onto the course. But we're watching Rahib then. Abdulatif Al Omani and Yasmin Saad, the Q80s, down in 12th place still. And they're down in 13th place in the standings overall this season. You can see them getting up to 155 towards 160 kilometers an hour. As they go past the Dubai duty-free logo in the center. We've been going for almost an hour now in this EMAR pole position session. And the yachts boats are heading back out onto the course. So we've got most of the big hitters out there now. Certainly we've got Fazza out there, we've got Dubai out there, got T-Bone Station out there. So it could start to get pretty interesting before long. And Rahib finding things pretty interesting at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Going very wide on, I think that's the E-turn, isn't it? The left-hander as they come back out on towards the final corner. There's Marina Vestimenti Sud. And there is Fazza then, currently quickest of anyone, but with only 0.4 of a second separating the top three. It is incredibly close for Arif Al-Zafin and Nadir Bin Hendi, the defending champions for 2 years now. They won the title in 2013 and 2012. Rahib come across the line. I don't think they're going to improve, and no, they do a 2 minute 44, and their quickest is a 2 minute 42. And there's the sixth boat of Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Polli, and it's great to have them here. And there's just an example of some of the architecture around Stresa, a real sort of holiday town, as it were, for the elite really of Europe in the early 1900s. And the history around the place is really, really spectacular. So we've got Dubai coming towards the final corner, taking a wide line in to then go as quickly as possible over the line. We're seeing Fazza on the screens, who are just sort of milling around out there before they set about doing their fast lap. So Dubai across the line now in the number 7 boat as they start their charge to try and claw in just 0.4 of a second. And I mean that, especially on such changeable conditions as well, because the water is always changing, isn't it? You've always got to deal with that. The lap is about 2.5 minutes, and still these guys are separated by just 0.1 of a second. It shows you that we're at such a peak of pilot performance here that everyone sort of congregates to that point. It's so impressive.
It is. There is not much a big difference between the boats, mainly the top 10 boats, but it's all come down to the skills, and within the skills, of course, is the full focus and concentration that both pilots has to do to always keep, let's say, not to waste that much time at the turns, and this is where it pays straightforward. When you see, for example, Fazza, the way they negotiate the turn, it's almost perfect turn after turn, and you know, those half seconds are absolutely crucial. It's not even, it's even less than that. And when you add all these turns, and here in this race course we have around 5 major turns, and if you keep losing precious time on each turn, then forget it, you're out of the game.
Absolutely. Here come Qatar team across the line to start a quick lap. Currently in 6th place, which I think would reasonably please Mohamed Al Nasser. I think he wouldn't be too disappointed with a 6th place, but we'll wait and see. Still plenty of time in this session to go. Well, we're running out of time, but a reasonable amount of time to go. Rahiba coming back in. So who's going to be our first quick boat across the line? I think it's going to be Dubai by the looks of things. The 7 boat coming towards the final corner. Yachts are there as well, but they're going wide in. So it's going to be the 7 boat of Dubai who are going to be the first of our quick guys to come across the line and give us a representation of what sort of lap time they can produce. Can they move to the top of the timing screens? They go very deep into the final corner. They're going to catch a bit of wake from Yachts as they come across the line. Any improvement from Dubai this time?
No.
No, they remain. They were a couple of seconds down, and it must be difficult when you're out there in the cockpit, because you don't know until you've crossed the line if the lap's any good or not. And so now, for example, if they can't do this next lap because they're going to have the wake of the Yachts boat in front of them, they haven't taken the perfect line through the final corner, and it sort of writes off the next lap as well.
Yeah, but we almost forget to mention that one of the important part in the pole position is the informations that the pilots receive from the team manager, and it's absolutely vital because the team manager, he's the one that almost dictate to or inform the pilots where they have to push, when they have to go, when they have to slow down, which which lap they need to choose, because if there is too much traffic, forget it. You will definitely not perform well. So the team manager role is vital, Jacques.
Yeah, no, that's very true, and they're all on the gantry just sort of to the left of us, overlooking the course, and they'll be able to see where their boats are all the time. And Dubai have looped back around and are coming back into the wet pits, and there we see Moad then, boat number 50. Joachim Kumlin and Gary Ballou, the Swede and the American, currently 5th at the moment at 2:35.29, which I think they'll be reasonably satisfied with. They want to win, absolutely, but with the troubles they've had, and something, is that the remains of a buoy perhaps in the middle of the water there? Difficult quite to make out, but we'll see if we get any more news on that as we look. I think we're up the far end at the moment. I think this is up at the D turn, and I think perhaps that was the second buoy that once was there and is not there any longer. But we'll see if that causes any effect. But Moad out there then on their quick lap now. They haven't done many laps, as we see.
And that's Yacht trying to beat their fastest lap, and yes, indeed, they took the 4th position.
Good lap from Yachts then. So Yachts up into 4th place, 2:34.9. So T-Bone Station dropped to 5th, Moad dropped to 6th. So impressive stuff from the CBR offshore gang, Francois Pinelli and Stal Bubacho. They're in the number 96 boat.
They have nothing to lose, especially they know by default that this boat is not suitable for this type of conditions. But here we go, they are doing absolutely very well.
There's Spirit of Dubai, Rashid Al-Mari's boat being adjusted as we now see Yachts again. A great lap from them to be up into 4th position. They had some good pace in Naples. They're currently doing reasonably well in the championship, 10th place. They had some good pace in Naples, but didn't finish the race, unfortunately, as they now make their way back down towards us on the shore. Who else have we got out there then? We can see Yachts. Sorry, they're not making their way back towards us. They're heading out towards the island at the far point of the course. Moad look like they've are milling around up at the top of the course now as well, so they've sort of come to a stop. Fazza are up there as well, as are T-Bone Station, so 3 big hitters just milling around up at the far end, trying to time their final runs perfectly. At the moment it's Fazza who are on pole.
Looking at Yachts, I think they are reaching quite an impressive top speed. 140, 150 kilometers an hour out from the turn, which is quite good. That shows that the acceleration is quite good. Let's see now if they will beat their fastest lap, which is so far 2 minutes 34 seconds and 90.
But the red flag has come out by the looks of it, according to the timing screens anyway. Can't see any sign of it out on the jetty at the moment, so we'll keep watching Yachts as they come into the final corner. Are they going to be able to improve on their current 4th place? Here they come across the line.
No,
they remain in 4th place. Now there's a gentleman down here holding a red flag and a checkered flag out, but that's just in the pits, so I don't know if that counts. We'll have to wait and see. So it looks as though it may well have been that that buoy we thought it was up at D corner that got run over, and the red flag comes out. And so There is a man here down there holding the checker flag out as well, so just waiting for confirmation whether that is the end of the session, because they may decide it's a little too far, a little too much time to go out and get the buoy and get it going again, because of course we've got the SpeedCat run coming up pretty shortly. And we are seeing Dubai being hoisted, well, preparing to be hoisted anyway, as everyone comes back into the wet pits. And it is because there's a buoy missing up at D-turn, I think. And then you can see the officials making their way out onto the jetty. Handshakes all around, and that is with Marco Fabrizi, the Spaniard. And there's Mohamed Al Nasser as well on the right hand side there. Looks like he'll be starting down in 7th spot. So we still have some minutes remaining here, but this may be the end of the session because of the red flag that's come out, and it would take too long to fix that buoy. And in fact, the pace cat has come in, the rescue boats have come in, so I can't see any movement to adjust things at the moment. So as it stands, Fazza are on provisional pole position. Consul Brokers will start in 2nd place. It's 3rd for Dubai. It's 4th for Yachts. There is the checker flag confirmation on the timing screens then. So Fazza will start on pole position. They win the EMAR pole position run. Consul Brokers will start in 2nd place. Dubai will start 3rd. Yachts will start in 4th place. Impressive qualifying from them. T-Bone Station will start in 5th position. 6th place will be Moad. 7th place for Qatar team. Marine Investimenti Sud will be then in 8th position. 9th place for the 6th boat of Nicolini. That's disappointing. 10th place for Lady Spain. 11th place for the Fujairah Racing Team. 12th place for Rahib. And 13th place for Spirit of Dubai. The top 3 boats covered by just 0.4 of a second at the end of a fascinating EMAR pole position session. And that brings the action to a close for now, but we will be back very shortly actually with the Dubai duty-free SpeedCat run, drag racing down the water, down Lake Maggiore. It's going to be spectacular, so we make sure you join us for that. Myself, Jack Nichols, and Sib Ben Sala will be with you, so we'll see you shortly.